Welcome to the TV Station, one of the most chaotic, loot-rich, and high-stakes locations in Arena Breakout Infinite. This map is a hotspot for intense close-quarters combat with tight hallways, multiple floors, and countless ambush points. Whether you're here to secure the rare loot and control power positions, or just master TV itself, in this guide we'll break down the key entrances, loot routes, strategies so you can survive, and going over early, mid, and endgame situations to maximize your loot profit. Let's go ahead and start off with our spawn locations. Everything's going to be on the outside of the map on the first floor. You have a spawn here on backstage. You have a spawn inside post-production. You have a spawn right here in this little office. You could spawn back here behind darkroom. You can spawn here in the garage. You can spawn in the server room. You can spawn in loading right here, editing, and spiral. Now, as you can see, these are just probable spawns. That doesn't mean you're always going to spawn this close to each other. This will never happen right here. But we can get into where you can find yourself into close combat as soon as the round starts. Now, this is a probable fight all the time, but now with the jump up on top of this inside lounge, sometimes this fight's not even probable anymore. Sometimes this team will race all the way here to try to fight, but it's just iffy. It depends. Now, another team that will fight a lot off rip will be these guys versus New Edition. It'll be Spiral versus Bunker a lot, or these guys will just rotate and fight towards loading. Now, these teams are usually very rare to spawn next to each other, but it does happen. Is as you're making your way up from here all the way through from darkroom to directors, this team right here will often push these stairs and push all the way down double cat to try and cut you off before you can make it all the way here. So I want you to be careful of that. For the next three things, we're going to be going over tips, early, mid, and late game strategies, and last but not least, I'm going to show you a gameplay and talk about it through and through on how I felt and my positioning and what was going through my mind in these fights. These next four tips are going to help you stay alive and, get out of the early game. Tip 1. Think twice before instantly running into a safe. I know it can be a little tempting, but rushing safes unless it's right next to you can ruin your whole team's raid. Tip 2. If you have a good headgear or headset on, listen to what's around you while you're establishing a location. Getting an idea where these players are before you do anything else is a good idea, especially with all these scavs everywhere. You can't bypass scavs without shooting or alerting them on this map. Tip 3. Don't be a rat. I can't fucking stand that shit. Tip 4. Learn how to be patient. I know a lot of you guys yearn for that PvP, but learning to be smart about your push and aggression is key. Alright, so let's get into this gameplay. So we spawn here, and my instant reaction is to run straight over to directors. I know I should have ran up top, but I thought I'd take a peek at post-production before I did. Now afterwards, we run up here because we heard some shots going on inside library, and well, this will just show you what happened. Good night to that shitter. Anyways, we picked this guy off quick because we knew where he was. We knew he didn't sound too big. And, well, we secured the kill. Now, waiting for this guy, I heard suicide open. It took me forever to realize because I'm slow. But I creep walk backwards to make sure this guy doesn't peek me off.
What?
And bot walking is key here because maybe this guy thought I was still a bot until I pulled the nade, but well, I mean, Mosca or not, that guy was clearly an AI. And let's just say this guy came into the stream and was a little upset at what I got out of this safe. I checked my surroundings before I opened it. Oh, he didn't even get to touch a safe. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, that fucking blows for that guy. Now, as soon as I knew I was good, I rotated backwards because I knew nobody was going to be behind me, so I could securely put this in the bag. That fucking blows for him, man. That fucking sucks. Now, hold on. Do you remember the guy we first were gonna fight inside directors? He's still here. Bingo, bango, boongo. This kid didn't think I'd peek him. I'm sure he thought I, heard him at least. No peeking in my city, brother. You cannot do it. This is my town. This is my city. This is my country. You cannot take what's mine. And that is...
Oh, I can't hear.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. After some awesome celebration, we ended up clearing the lobby. And well, this is how much I got out with. You're so poor? Why is that? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm 8.3 milli. Sheesh. I just made 8.3 mil. Okay, let's get into our loot routes. So, I'm going to show you 4 different loot routes from 4 different corners of the sides of the map, okay? Now, keep in mind, these are going to be the spawns on red. So, if you spawn here, remember, you have a potential enemy spawn here, here, and here, okay? These are the 4 you need to focus if you spawn on this side of the map. Now, remember, if you spawn loading, you have a potential threat for server, you have a potential threat for garage, so just be careful of this side if you spawn here. Now say you spawn said editing, okay, you have 2 options, well technically 3, but I think these 2 are the safest way. You can take you and your team all the way through here through loading. Remember to check for these players right here, okay? It's not super often they spawn that close. Also remember that there is a red spawn on this jump up next to this case, okay, inside the case. Now back to it. So if you spawn editing, you come through here through loading, you come up the stairs, inside of here, into hazmat. You're going to be faced with 2 options. There's going to be a team that's going to jump up from down here, hit lounge super fast, and inside this side of gen, which gives you the opportunity to have 2 holds on this team. Or you can just try to take the fight as fast as you can inside and gain as much space as you can in gen towards these people. But in a perfect world, when there are no other people on the map, you can spawn editing, hit this safe, run all the way through to loading, up through hazmat, into gen, hit these 2 safes. If you wanted to, I personally don't like to drop to first floor after I've already cleared second, like if I have this entire space. But if you want to drop for that free kitchen safe, you can. Afterwards, I'll have my team look at cams. We'll send 2 through elevator hall and 2 through skybridge, just so we have a pinch in case there's something couches, or if there's kids heading towards skybridge from directors. Now once you've had all this control, you can say goodbye to general office, and now you have full wrap on directors and managers. So these kids cannot leave if there are people inside. Usually you'd want to have 1 person stick, not in the hallway. Do not stick in the hallway because they'll just shoot through the door, but just to stay here just in case they try to rotate so you can hold them. The other 3, in my opinion, one should be watching couches for the flank, and the other 2 should be taking control of managers, whether that's from below dark room up the stairs or contesting them through the double door into managers. But like I said, in a perfect world, there's nobody on the map. So after your 2 teams split up and come through these areas, you can now come through and loot the 2 safes and directors. You can come all the way down dark room, hit the lock safe here, and that is 1 loot route. And here's another good loot route if you're spawning backside of managers or if you're in this office. So either way, if you spawn here or here, you have a chance for the team to spawn on the opposite side. In case that doesn't happen, you can take full control of darkroom, hit that key, come up the stairs either side, you can take manager's control, and you hit these safes. Now remember, I've told you guys this earlier, a team can come from backstage, run up these stairs, and haul ass straight over and try to cut you off here. You need to be careful of this push. After you've hit managers, personally, a lot of other teams do this double take. So if you want to hold them off, you can. If you hear third parties, go ahead, fight it. But if you are not a team that, doesn't really have what it takes to contest these guys gen, you could always fall back to double cat, hit suicide, hit post-production, and maybe fight the team that spawns near music or editing. There are 3 boss locations on this entire map. One's going to be inside the middle, one's going to be in directors, and one's going to be in gen. There's the only 3 spots that these bosses spawn. And if you guys have made it this far, I'm going to be doing a guide on every map and improving things I could be adding along the way. If you haven't checked out my Valley guide and you are new, it will be worth your while to check out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.